Hello, welcome to the Beyond the Questions podcast, because every great conversation starts with a question. We're having real conversations about life with life coaches, and we are anticipating another great episode. So get ready and let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Questions. It's a podcast where we go deeper than the surface answers, and we talk about how life moves forward. I've got 3 other coaches with me, so glad to be back together with you. And I want to let you know that today's episode, if you've ever had some advice that someone thought was great, but it turned out to be not so great, and you're like, what do I do with this? This is your episode, because what we're talking about today is the advice, good sounding advice that doesn't actually help, and the messy truth about what we needed instead. And so, man, I've got these great coaches with me. So what I would like to start out doing today is 2 things. First, I want to give you a chance to introduce yourselves, what kind of coach you do, who do you help? And then if you've got one, if you don't, that's okay. But I would love to hear worst advice that you've received. Okay. And we're going to go with Erica first. One, she typically starts things off for us anyway, and it'll be good. So you go, Erica.
Well, thank you, TQ. And yes, I'm Erica. I am a transformational coach who specializes in helping women through life's hardest and challenging seasons. If that's betrayal or navigating hard relationships, then I'm the one that you can call. And, you said worst advice, TQ. Can we go funny also? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
It can be funny bad, funny worst.
So always growing up, I remember my dad would tell me if you get like a little cut or something, you're working outside, he would just say, just put a keel mark on it. None of your family has worked construction, have they?
No, I was like, a who mark?
Oh my gosh. Blank stares. Okay.
Blank stares. I was so
now you got to explain.
Okay. A keel marker or a keel crayon is what you use to just put lumber on, and you use it for all sorts of things. So basically, if we're working, we get, a paper cut or whatever. He's telling us to put this bright marker on it. So later when we're done working, we can find it. What was like, a little child is like, why would I need to find it? This hurts really bad. Like, I'm going to be able to find it later.
All right. Good old dad.
At least the understanding of the laugh now, Jason. But
so great. I love it.
Everybody's parents or worked construction or had somebody, they will understand.
They are rolling right now. They are keeled over. See what I did there?
They are.
Another dad joke for you. Just threw it in there.
That was quick.
Just threw it in there.
That was quick.
All right. Anybody else with better jokes than me, please go next.
Wow. Gosh. Well, I don't have a joke. All right. But I was told, all right, this is not like earth shattering, but I was supposed to go and watch someone give this presentation so I could learn how to do it and what their content was. And at the last minute, we fly to Florida and we're getting ready for the presentation. He calls and says he missed his flight. He's not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to give his presentation. And meanwhile, I had no idea what he was talking about. So he said, best thing to do, go through all my slides, take the night because you're not on until tomorrow morning to present this to a huge crowd. Take the night, study it, you'll be fine. So I take his advice. I go through and I start studying this. And then I start getting calls from all these people I know that are in the bar that they all ran into Jimmy Buffett and they're going out on his boat to party and I should come. And I didn't go because I took the dude's advice that I had to sit there and learn his presentation, which I gave the next morning to a bunch of hungover people that nobody listened to my presentation. So that was never listen to somebody that tells you to study their slides and miss an opportunity.
Man, Jimmy Buffett. I'm sorry you missed that.
I know, me too. I know.
I didn't want to follow Erica, and now I definitely don't want to follow Kelly. I'm like, man, all the advice I've got was boring compared to that. Like,
you can take a pass.
Yeah, I'll go at it. So I think the worst advice, at least the advice I regret listening to the most was, so I was 5'10" in the 6th grade. I have not grown since the 6th grade. I think I'm now 5'9.5". I'm going the opposite direction. And I was the biggest kid in school, and everybody's like, you got to play football. Well, I loved playing soccer. And I quit soccer, went to football because that's what all the cool kids in West Virginia do. Man, I tried to go back when I realized I wasn't going to grow anymore. And I was playing inside linebacker for a varsity football team at 140 pounds and 5'10", and our starting tailback was 220. So it was just not going to work out well for me. And I was like, should have stuck with soccer. It's not near as funny as your guys. I don't
That's
have
all
any
right,
fun.
though. But I get that, man. That playing football is like the sport, quote unquote. But I remember
Yeah.
that back in the day, soccer.
Yeah.
Do you try to go play now?
I did play in an adult league last summer, and it was good. And my body hurt afterwards, but I played. It was funny. The first week we got an email to the league that like 6 players were out with injuries. One guy was out for the season. I was like, okay, I'm not in the best shape, but I can still play next week. So that's what really matters.
There you go, man.
Setting the bar real high.
That's all right. Hey, the dream is still alive, bro. That's what
right.
I want to say. The dream is still alive.
No, at 47, the dream is dead. I'm done. I'm reduced to pickleball now.
Hey, pickleball's taking off, bro.
Yeah.
You can go pro in that if you want. I'm just saying.
Maybe this whole coaching doesn't go out. I'll go pro at pickleball.
There you go. Man, some advice that I got. I like to snowboard. Okay. I know I live in Texas, grew up some of my life in Florida, but me and the snow and mountains, I love it. Right. And I actually own a snowboard that I've used like 8 times in my whole life because I live in Texas. And so, but I still have it because I'm that into it. And so if you go skiing or whatever, there's the terrain park, right? Where all the jumps. And if you've ever seen them, especially not just on television, if you've seen them in real life, these things are gigantic, like as big as some people's homes. Got it? And so, and this is younger me, not as young as I've talked about before, but this is like late 20s-ish, early 30s, okay? But I want to try these things, and I'm trying them, and I'm not doing so great. And I see some guys who are just taking off, flips and all the things, everything that you see on television. I'm like, oh, man, maybe I can ask them. And so I asked this one guy, and he's like, I was like, what do I need to do? He's like, bruh, you just got to go for it, man. Just give it your all, dude. Don't hold anything back. It'll be great. I'm like, okay, I'm amped. I'm ready to go. Oh, sure thing. And I know how to follow instructions. So I'm going out and I give it my all. And in the air, as I find myself rotating upside down, which was unintentional.
No.
It's a bright sunny day. I see this shadow of a snowboarder who looks really awesome, but is about to die. That shadow's me. And I just land and everything hurt. Fortunately, I didn't break anything. Other guys were like, by the way, if you ever go and you're on the train park, you fall, there's no, you okay? It's just get out of the way because other people are coming. And so I'm scared I'm going to be landed on. I'm crawling. So that wasn't really good advice, primarily because it was incomplete. There's a lot more to it than just go with your everything. And so, I wish I could have had a do-over on that one for sure.
No broken bones from it, though?
No broken. I mean, that was much younger me.
Okay. Yeah.
Today, I might really die for real. Man, well, I'm loving all the stories and the things that we've been sharing about this advice. For those of you who are listening, this episode has really come from a conversation that I had over Christmas. It was one of those Christmas holiday deals, and I was talking with this guy about our podcast, and he's like, oh, yeah, man, great. I'd love to hear about it, because then he went into talking about the other podcasts he'd been listening to. And he was just saying, like, man, the motivational stuff that they're throwing out, like just grind harder, keep at it, whatever all those were. He was like, man, you can only hear that for so long, and he was needing something different. And I was like, man, he is so right. There's a lot of rhetoric and stuff out there that's being thrown out there. And just people don't need louder motivation. They need real life help. I say people out there, I need real life help. And so my question for you now is this. Why do you think people are so burnt out on that motivational rhetoric? Just why do you think they've been burned out on that motivational rhetoric?
Well, probably because it's not action oriented. It's all, a lot of it, what's out there can be fluff, right? But some of it, I mean, I think without steps and action steps and plans behind it, that sometimes it just, you can't just say, do things better or go move forward without a plan. So I think sometimes it just gets lost because there's no action steps for people to take.
And Kelly, I'll go the exact opposite. I think sometimes it's too many action steps. Like get up, drink your water, eat your vegetables, eat your protein, get to the gym, read, meditate, drink your water. I'm like, do y'all know I've got 2 kids? I'm starting a business, working another job. I don't have time to track my 164 ounces of water. Sometimes it's just so overwhelming. It's like, I can't. So I'm not going to do it.
And I think even just with both of those, like you said, burned out from these things, it's because it doesn't work. It is like a cheap fix and just like throwing something in the air, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Thank you, nurse, for the Band-Aid and bullet wound. That's awesome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. So what advice are you tired of hearing? And not just you, Erica. I mean, everybody. You, plural. What advice are you tired of hearing that sounds good but doesn't actually help? Like maybe something you've experienced. I'll go first. Okay. One of the things that I've heard, especially as I've taken these online courses, was you have to take massive action. Take action, right? Which I do agree, you do need to take action. You can't sit back and just do nothing. But there wasn't anything there to help you overcome what is inhibiting the action that you're not taking. Like half the time I'm there because I didn't know what action to take. So I'm here. And so now you're telling me I got to take this action. I'm like, well, that's the whole problem. Can you help me figure out how to deal with this? And so without the how-to of that or helping me see what I'm missing, then it wasn't very helpful.
I'd say I hear people saying, be patient, success will happen. And I'm not a very patient person, number one. But I think it takes more than just patience. If somebody just says, oh, be patient, success will come. Like to say that to a new, entrepreneur or business owner, that just kind of doesn't help me. So, I think it takes systems and perseverance and kind of knowing who you are and the why behind why you're doing the business. It takes a lot, to get things up and running and get them to how you want them. So when someone says just be patient, sorry, but that drives me nuts.
Yeah. And when they're saying be patient and you're trying to use this business to pay some bills,
yeah,
the bills are not patient.
Right.
They will call you and say, hey, we want our money now,
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I was struggling to think what advice am I tired of hearing, but Kelly, that is 100% it. I don't want to be patient.
Yeah.
I'm not. And I don't think anybody's saying patient, don't do anything. But even if it's like, okay, I'm doing the things and they're probably right, but it's not helpful.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me
Exactly.
feel better. When you're like, oh, just be patient in year 3.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm in month 3.
Yeah.
I don't have 33 months. Like not helpful.
I think with that, it's not acknowledging where you specifically are at, right? Like they're just kind of saying it and you're like, well, I need more. That's not going to help me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I was going to think of some advice that kind of hits closer to home, and I'm going to call myself out for I used to say this, while I'm not sure if any of you heard the little saying, forgive and forget. That is just not helpful in so many ways. That could be broken down like in many things, while, just in healing from the process of betrayal, you don't forget. Now, forgiveness is a choice and an action, and I chose to do that. Well, it doesn't mean I forget all of the things that happened to me. I'm not saying that I hold a grudge or anything like that. This can be way deeper. Well, I don't know. Have any of you guys ever heard the little metaphor about the snake?
Here we go with snakes again.
Here we go.
Always about a snake.
I totally
It's always
forgot.
about a snake.
Dang
There we
it.
go. Here we go.
No, I
It's
have
great.
not heard the metaphor about the snake, but please
Okay, well-
inform us.
Maybe. I don't have the snake with me today, but okay, so you pick up a snake, it bites you. Kind of scary, right? Nah. Okay, so you're going to go
Kind of. Yes, kind of scary if a snake bites me.
Okay. Extremely scary for Jason. Jason's not going to go back again, but maybe somebody else might go back again and pick it up for the second time. But then really, the next time you come across that same scenario, are you going to go pick it up? Or are you going to think about it like, that snake just bit me twice. Am I just going to forget what it did? Or am I going to remember and walk around it so it doesn't bite me again?
You know what I
Remembering
can
for
tell you will be
sure.
true? That snake will never know it bit me twice. It'll be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a cat named Pumpkin that scratched me way back when I was in college that I've not forgotten.
Well,
So, yeah.
I hope for our listeners and for your guys' sake that somebody's picking up on the metaphor that I'm trying to put down.
I hear that. Yeah. That forgetting it's just not wise.
No.
There's no wisdom in
Right.
seeing a pattern that's occurring and going forgive you and just going back in it. You're just headed for more hurt. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Appreciate that metaphor. It seems that this advice hits people who are in transition, or like you said, Erica, people dealing with trauma. It just seems to hit them the hardest. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Can you ask that again, TQ?
Yeah. So people who are in transition and trauma or have dealt with trauma, a lot of times they're in this place where somebody comes with advice, right? And it seems that bad advice hits the people who are in transition or dealing with the trauma or some sort of change. It seems to hit them the hardest. Do you think you guys have any insight on why that might be the case?
I think it goes back to a little bit like what I was saying. There's no acknowledgement for what, like if it's a painful situation, right? There's no true acknowledgement for the pain that person is feeling in that moment, right? Like even going back to put a kill mark on it, as a 10-year-old child, like that hurts. That's the worst thing ever. Maybe I need a hug. Maybe somebody else just needs, a Band-Aid or whatever. While these funny sayings or unhelpful sayings don't acknowledge what that person needs. And I think why it's harder is because sometimes when you're in transition and pain, you may not know exactly what you need.
Yeah, that's a good word.
And you might be at your low point or just in a confusion state. And so to get advice that isn't productive or constructive or something that maybe didn't work before, it's like the same old, same old. When you're in a transition, you need to spark something new, right? You need positivity. So I think sometimes if you get just bad advice or people try to just give you advice because they think it'll help, even though they don't, like you said, know the root cause or what you're feeling inside. And it's just empty advice if you don't know what's really happening with the person. So I think you really need to get to the core of what someone's going through. Instead of probably offering advice, maybe it's just offering an ear to listen.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I think sometimes that advice, man, I don't want to be super negative, but I think that advice sometimes is said tritely without and maybe sometimes to make us feel better in the space. So if you're going through trauma, I don't know how to enter that space. I don't know how to feel empathy in that space. I'm just going to say something that makes me feel better. Mm-hmm. And whether it makes you feel better or not, well, I tried, right? And I'm sorry, I was looking down there for a minute. Since we got here, I've been trying to think this book title that is a phenomenal book, and I finally found it. It's Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved by Kate Bowler. We're in this middle of this hard spot, and you're like, God's got a plan. There's a reason for this thing. We just throw these I don't have another word other than just trite sayings behind it that don't mean anything. And that doesn't make me feel any better.
Right.
And it might not even be true, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the reason it happened is because people suck and we have to deal with them, right? And sometimes that people who suck is me. So I don't know. I just am kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that. Man, those are good. Taking into context, not being flippant with what we say, that's really important. What's something you wish someone had told you, like the messy truth about maybe your transition or something, that you're in? What do you wish was the advice someone might have given you as you were dealing with that change or that struggle?
Well, for me, it's kind of that starting a business is harder than you think. It takes more time and that it can play with your confidence, right? I think confidence only comes after you take action, but you still need to do it no matter how scary it is. So I think I wish I'd known earlier that you just need to jump into something and not worry about it being scary, or that you don't have the full confidence or whatever before you jump in. That, everything's a risk, and starting a new business is a risk, but if once you've made that decision, you just got to go for it. And so I think I wish somebody would have told me earlier that you just, you have to, it takes time. You got to make sure that you build your confidence, but it comes after you do some kind of action first.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm going to go along the lines here of betrayal trauma in my answer. And I'm not sure, maybe somebody might have said this while it just was personally, I don't think I heard it, in that I have no control over another person's choices, actions, beliefs, values. I can want, I can hope, I can pray, I can believe a person will change or have those same values that I hold. Well, it's truly up to that other person. And sometimes they are different than ours. And that could be really hard.
Yeah.
But I can't control it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good word.
I'm afraid I'm going to sound like a broken drum, but I just want somebody who I know is going to be there. I don't necessarily need you to say anything. I just need you to listen and let me talk. Let me get the things that I'm feeling or I'm struggling with as I go through some of that negative self-talk we tell ourselves when we're trying to start a business and things didn't go perfect the first time, or we're exhausted and we don't feel like we're getting the traction we need, or I'm in the middle of a broken relationship and it's hard. But I think most people, I shouldn't say that. I want someone to just be there, to just take the initiative to show up and be like, hey, how you doing today? And then really honestly listen. And maybe I'll ask for advice. Maybe if they just listen, we figure out our own advice. So yeah, I think that's what I want in that space. I just tend to think we're so isolated right now that we don't have community. We don't have this sense of it's safe to be real.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find that space, man, I've just seen time after time, not only in my own life, but in the lives of those I love or those I've worked with, when that space gets created, change really begins to come.
Yeah, awesome. Man, I think for me, I would say that when they're telling you to take action, when people are saying, yeah, you need to take action, they're not really looking at the thing that's the inner thing that's getting in the way. They're looking at they're just telling you to do something with, I guess goes back to the whole context. They're telling you to do something without understanding where you're coming from and what your perspective may be, what beliefs you may have, what skills you may have, or resources you may have, and helping you work through that. I wish someone would have told me that earlier, that when it comes to taking action, what you need to take, here are the things that you need to consider on the inside. Here are the barriers, or here are the things that may be stopping you. Think through that first. So, okay. If I can take us down one more thing, and it's going to sound somewhat similar, but I want us to kind of to make it concise. And really want to talk about reality over rhetoric. So if you have a saying like people always say blank, but the real truth is blank, how would you fill in those blanks? People always say, but the real truth is, we can throw some one-liners out there, or a couple liners if you can do that. I can't promise that I'll be a one-liner either, so.
Well, I can start it off. It's a little bit, if I can change the saying just a little bit, if that's okay,
Sure.
TQ. Okay.
Absolutely.
People say and use always or never, but the real truth is that's a subset of experiences that are being considered as the whole experience in their mind.
Okay. Give me a little more explanation, because my wheels are turning and I'm like,
Okay.
I think I'm getting what you're stepping in, but I don't really know. So
I feel like it's great. And I see this especially with children, right? I never get to have a candy. Never? Really? You had one 3 days ago. It's like reminding them, and it's like, but if I allow them to keep saying that, right, then that is going to be their reality. Every time I tell them no, they never get to have it, which is not the truth.
right.
It's just that in that moment, the answer is no. So I attempt to help them reframe their statements. Today, I don't get a candy, while tomorrow I might be able to have one.
Right. Got it. That makes sense. Yep. Yeah. Always and never. Yeah. Cool. That's a good one. Any others out there?
I think as I think about this, people always say, I'm fine. Real truth is we're freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
It's a good one.
Man, yeah, I really
Wow.
dislike that. I'm
But I look
fine.
so good right
But I
here.
look- I
I've got
look
it
good.
covered.
My social media is perfectly curated. Everything's great. And then we begin to believe that's their real experience.
Mhm.
And then we compare ourselves to that.
Yes.
And we end up even more freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. And like, yeah, I just don't think any of us are fine. I mean, maybe we have fine days. We have moments where we're fine, but I think there's a lot more going on under the surface than most people ever know.
Right.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
Well, I'd say just talking to the women that I talk to with my coaching, I always hear that reinvention means starting from scratch. But the real truth is it starts with everything you already know. So you're not
Mhm.
starting over. You're building from what you've already accomplished. But people forget that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
TQ, can I throw
yeah.
another one out there that came to me after Jason's I'm fine?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We always want more. Come on.
Always.
Is it going to be another snake reference? I'm just
No, no
curious.
snakes. Okay, no
Okay.
snakes. People say, how are you? Well, the real truth is, do you have an hour? If you're going to ask that question.
You're right. Yeah. There's really more to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's good. You know, as I prepare for things here, I have notes written down, and this is not in my notes that, you know, as for my answer to this, but it just came up like you said, Erica, and that is people are always talking about chasing success, right? Making sure you can, you know, you can get this success, whatever that thing is, but no one really talks, I don't say no one. The truth of the matter is that you have to define success very well before you can chase it. You know, you really got to understand what you're trying to, what is success supposed to look like? And I think many of us fall into the trap of success looks like what's thrown out there, whether that's money, whether that's fame, or you name it. And at least in our conversations that we've had in our podcast, it tends to go back to who you're becoming, the time you get to spend with meaningful people, the good you get to do. And that's a very different scale to determine success as opposed to what's out there. So cool. My hope is that our podcast will not be one of those that just kind of throws placated rhetoric out there, but really tries to get at the heart of things. I know that we try to be very real and vulnerable in our conversations, kind of just talking with people, hey, this is what we found and what we've seen. And so if you're out there listening right now, if any of today's conversation has hit you with something like, you know, it's hit you in that place like, man, yes, you find yourself going, what Erica said. Yeah. Well, then I want to let you know that these coaches here, we really would love to help you with that. As Eric has always said, she is a transformational coach. She's specializing in supporting women through life's most challenging seasons. And Kelly, she is working with those who are experiencing corporate burnout and they want to make mindful transitions about your next step. If you've got this passion and purpose that you want awakened inside of you, Jason is your man. Spend some time with him. If you find yourself kind of stuck dealing with self-doubt and fear and inaction, I would love to walk with you through that. We really care about you getting to that next thing. So here's something I would love for you guys to do if this has hit you well. If you're listening, get in your seat, lean a little forward, and go DM us which advice you're tired of hearing. We would love to know about that because we want to kind of cut through that. And if you're hearing something that you're like, man, I wish someone would talk about this, we'd love to hear it. So DM us that information. If you know someone that this podcast is working for, please go ahead and share it with them. We'd love for them to be on here as well. And reach out if you need some support. It's okay. Please do that. We care about you here and we would love for you. We would love to journey with you. All right. The last thing I want to do is I want to give our coaches a chance to give kind of a one last sign off. If you've got one final word of encouragement that you could give to our listeners, here's a great time to put that out. What you got for our listeners, coaches? What do you have?
I'll say if you know someone who opens up to you or is struggling, going through transition, experiencing something, instead of making a statement, ask a question. It gives them space to be honest and real about what they're actually going through. And instead of you interpreting their experience, they get to truly share their experience.
It's good.
Yeah. I think if we're going to end it, just allow yourself to seek growth in whatever season, stage of life that you're in.
I would say if you're in the midst of a transition or going through something, don't beat yourself up. It just means you're growing, right? You're evolving. We all do. So you'll get through it. You just need to kind of get through the sticky parts, but it just means you're evolving.
Yeah, that's great. And as you're going through this thing, whatever you're trying to reach, I'm reminded of something that was said in our last episode. Don't just look at what things that you haven't hit yet. Make sure that you celebrate the things that have happened in the past, because as you're moving forward, you are making ground. You're taking ground. You're pressing ahead. And if you don't take time to look back and go, man, look at what has happened, just looking ahead to what you don't have can be miserable. And we don't want that for you at all. We want the joy of life in you. All right. Well, thank you, listeners, for joining us on Beyond the Questions. We hope to see you next time. Remember to check us out. All of our links are in down there. What do you call that thing where
Show
they put
notes.
this? Thank you. The show notes, it's there. We would love to be connected with you. All right. Y'all take care. And thanks for listening. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Beyond the Questions. Be sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date concerning future episodes. And if you would like to connect with any of the hosts on Beyond the Questions, their contact info is linked in the description below. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you on the next episode of Beyond the Questions.